Ito ang 106.3 Dance Radio. Dance Radio.
Prepare yourself.
Ang silid-aralan sa radyo, hatid namin ay makabagong paraan ng pagtuturo at kalaman. Mapaumaga, tanghali o hapon man yan, ang istasyong magbibigay impormasyon kahit saan man.
For something big.
Alright, here we go.
106.3 Dance Radio. Doña Aurora National High School, Santa Rita, Aurora, Isabela.
This
106.3 DWDR-FM. Music, arts, physical education, and health. Mga aralin na dapat malaman, inyong tututukan dito sa 106.3 Dance Radio. Ang istasyong magbibigay ng edukasyon kahit saan man at ang silid-aralan sa radyo 106.3 DWDR-FM. Sa MAPEH, learning is amazing!
Yes! Magandang umaga sa ating lahat. Welcome to MAPEH Quest in Arts 10. Thank you for tuning in and logging in to our station, Dance Radio 106.3 FM. Sa Doña Aurora, learning is more amazing.
Yes, magandang umaga sa ating lahat, lalong-lalo na sa ating mga mahal na magulang. Okay? At ganun din sa mga mag-aaral ng Doña Aurora National High School. Lalong-lalo na sa ating mga listeners, ang mga grade 10 learners. Siyempre, uunahin ko ng batiin ang aking mga magagaling, matatalino, pogi at magagandang mga anak, ang grade 10 Obra. Ganon din, shoutout sa inyo mga grade 10 Sinagtala and grade 10 Yakal. So patuloy lamang na makinig sa inyong mga radyo at manood sa ating live streaming sa FB Live para sa kayo ay mag-e-enjoy at matututo sa ating aralin. And also, shout out sa ating administrator, faculty, and staff ng Doña Aurora National High School na pinangungunahan ng ating magaling at masipag na Chief Education Supervisor, Dr. Rodrigo Pascua. Shout out sa inyo dyan, nasa sila Sir Dante, nasa kabilang campus.
Yes.
Sa San Juan campus.
They are really working a lot. Yeah. Of course, shout out sa aking mga estudyante at estudyante ng mga other co-teacher natin, Sir Francis, sa grade 10. Sa 10 SPJ, hello 10 SPJ. We have also the students of Sir Mark Ibes, 10 Tanggile at 10 Indalo. The students of Sir Mark Bagamaspay, tao dito, 10 Mahogany at 10 Lawan. And of course, sa section ni Sir Mark John Domingo, ang 10 Almasiga, 10 Gemelina at 10 Camagong. Sir Francis?
Yes, shoutout din sa mga student ni Sir Arnel, ang 10 Nara and 10 Acacia. Ang mga student naman ni Ma'am Joanna Maria Escomiendo, ang 10 Menlib, Einstein and Rutherford na talaga naman, Sir Dante, itong mga student na ito. Hindi tayo iniiwan. Lagi silang nanonood ng ating live streaming. And ganun din ang mga klase ni Ma'am Annalisa, ang 10 Molabe at 10 Banaba. And last not the least, ang 10 Talisay.
Yan. So, bago tayo magsimula, kailangan lang natin i-comment sa chat box ang inyong section kasama ang hashtag Arts10. Ano pang hinihintay nyo? Comment na at i-check ng inyong mga subject teacher ang inyong attendance for this lesson in arts para mabigyan kayo ng extra points kung kayo ay makikinig at makikiparticipate sa ating discussion.
Yes, we encourage all grade 10 learners to participate in all the activities in today's episode of Arts 10. Prizes will be given away to those who will answer correctly on the different questions later in the discussion of our lesson.
Yan, Sir Francis, nakapag-greet na tayo. Ano nga ba ang dapat i-expect ng ating grade 10 learners sa ating lesson ngayong umaga?
Yes, Sir Joshua, ayan na. So, at the end of this lesson, the students of grade 10 are expected to identify art elements in the various media-based arts in the Philippines, identify representative artists, as well as distinct characteristic of media-based arts and design in the Philippines, discuss the role or function of artworks by evaluating their utilization and combination of art elements and principles. And last, create artworks that can be assembled with local materials.
So sa mga mahilig sa arts at mga gustong matuto, halina't tumutok na dito sa ating live streaming ng MAPEH Quest sa Arts 10. Siyempre, dito matututo ka, mag-i-enjoy ka pa. Saan ka pa? Dito lang yan sa MAPEH Learning Area where learning is more amazing.
Yes, so gusto ba ninyo ng papremyo? Abang-abang lang mga mag-aaral. Ang unang makakasagot sa tanong ang siyang mananalo ng 50,000 load. 50 pesos
50
load.
pesos load.
Kaya mag-text kayo ng inyong complete name, section, and correct answer. Or pwede ding tumawag or mag-text sa aking number ang 0935-200-4357.
Or pwede rin sila mag-text sa number ko 0915-380-1112.
Yan. Kaya dear students, makiparticipate tayo sa ating live discussion. So abangan yan mamaya, pagkatapos ng ating RBI A-Ring. So atin na ngayong pakinggan, Sir Dante, ang ating RBI A-Ring ng Arts 10. So huwag kayong aalis, kami ay magbabalik. Enjoy listening and let us now listen and learn. We'll be right back.
Music, arts, physical education, and health. Mga aralin na dapat malaman. Inyong tututukan dito sa Dance Radio. Ang istasyong magbibigay ng edukasyon kahit saan. Ito ang 106.3 Dance Radio. Totonya Aurora National High School, Santa Rita, Aurora, Isabela. Ang silid-aralan sa radyo. 106.3 DWDR-FM. Dance Radio. Sa MAPEH, learning is amazing.
Good day, dear learners! I am glad to be with you in 30-minute broadcast. I hope that you will enjoy our interesting topic. Please get your writing materials and learning activity sheets so we can start our lesson in Arts 10. The learning activity sheets provide you different activities that will help you become familiar with the topic on media-based arts and design in the Philippines. Photography. Assistance of your parents, siblings, or relatives is encouraged in answering the learning activity sheets, particularly in the activities where you need to perform tasks. Are you ready to start?
Yes, ma'am.
Good luck! The hand is one of the most symbolized parts of the human body. It is often used to depict skill, action, and purpose. Through our hands, we may learn, create, and accomplish. The hand in this learning resource signifies that you as a learner are capable and empowered to successfully achieve the relevant competencies and skills at your own pace and time. Your academic success lies on your own hands. This module were designed to provide you with fun and meaningful opportunities for guided and independent learning at your own pace and time. You will be enabled to process the contents of the learning resource while being an active learner. In this learning activity sheet, you will explore modern techniques and trends, the media-based art focused on photography. In this activity, let me check if you still remember the lesson in the second quarter. You are going to identify the term being described. Let's start! Number 1. It is also a powerful and innovative technology that is used in medicine to visualize images of patient internal anatomy. A. Digital painting. B. Imaging videos. C. Instagram. Or D. Video technology. What is your answer?
Ma'am, the answer is letter B, imaging videos.
Terrific! You did very well! Number 2. It is a method of creating artwork using a computer. A. Drawing. B. Digital painting. C. Digital printing. Or D. Video editing. What is your answer?
Letter B, ma'am. Digital painting.
Amazing! You are learning a lot from our previous lesson. Number 3. It is a powerful technology that is used for creating and presenting videos. A. Digital painting. B. Imaging videos. C. Instagram. Or D. Video technology. What is your answer?
Ma'am, letter B, imaging videos.
Good remembering! You've already mastered that! Let's continue our lesson after the infomercial.
COVID-19 has caused loss of lives and economic hardship all over the world. It has changed our habits and the way we live while testing our public health systems and impacting on our livelihoods. With this, the role of environmental health practitioner has never been more vital as we face up to the ongoing challenges this pandemic. Many changes are about to happen for a greener environment, more equal and more stabilized economy. COVID-19 pandemic has resulted numerous impacts on the environment and climate. But amid this crisis, we have a chance to build a better community and environment. Hashtag healthy environment. Hashtag healthy community.
Kayo nakikinig sa Arts Grade 10. Kasama si Teacher Monica, Jill and Jane.
I'm back! Now, let's proceed to our lesson. Turn your learning activity sheet on page 1 and follow me in reading your lesson. Advancement in technology has continued to become a major driving force in art forms. The innovations in manipulating materials, coloring, and techniques in embellishment and the creation of products applied in today's media, whether tangible or virtual in cyberspace. Let us listen to an information about some tips in photography.
So bibigyan namin kayo ng 5 tips para mas step up ang pagkuha nyo ng photos. So these tips na i-share namin sa inyo ay mga rules and guidelines na kadalasan ginagamit ko kapag nag-shoot ng photos. Tip number 1, angles. So before you push that button, why not take 5 extra seconds na tanongin mo yung sarili mo? Saan angle kaya maganda tong kunan? Objects or people may look cool or different. Maybe kapag waist level. Or pwede mo ring i-try yung low angle. Or try mo lapitan. Try mo sa kaliwa, try mo sa kanan. Just take 5 to 10 extra seconds and find that best angle that you're looking for. And take note that different angles can bring different moods in your photos. Tip number 2 is composition. So first of all, use your grids. Open your settings, open the cameras tab, and set your grids to on. Grids are not only useful for basic compositioning like the rule of thirds, but it is also useful kapag nasushoot ka sa dagat or may background ka na horizontal line. For the rule of thirds, ito yung rule wherein you will place your subject or point of interest sa grids intersections. Rule of third is also important in creating and controlling sense of motion. Leading lines. No more distracting lines. Use them to lead the audience eye into your subject. Symmetry. Symmetrical photos are pleasing to the eyes. They have some sort of balance kung saan mas na-emphasize at mas nagkakaroon ng appeal yung subject. Another one is contrast. I think almost lahat naman siguro tayo is alam yung silhouettes, right? Silhouettes ay isa sa mga perfect example of using contrast in a photo. Contrast is yung difference between the luminosity and color ng subject sa background. Knowing how to use contrast will help you create eye-catching images. That's why almost lahat ng photographers ay ginagamit yung technique na to para mas ma-draw yung attention ng viewers dun sa subject. Tip number 3, lighting. Lighting is so important. Of course, when your subject's not lit well, no one can see it, right? For those who doesn't have expensive lighting setups, napaka-easy lang ng solution dyan. Just use natural light. There are 3 things na pwede mong gawin kapag nag-shoot ka using natural light. You can do backlit shot wherein yung sun is nasa likod ng subject. Number 2 is direct sunlight. For the word itself, yun yung shot wherein yung araw is tumatama directly sa yung subject. One disadvantage of using direct sunlight shot is that your photo will have blown out highlights. Number 3 is yung shade shot or yung nakasilong. Obviously, shade shots ay ginagamit indoors, pero pwede ring outdoors kapag yung araw ay natakpan ng puno or ng buildings. Though for me, there's no right or wrong way in shooting in different kinds of light. Personally, I shoot most of my photos between 5:30 to 6:15 in the afternoon, which is the golden hour. No harsh lights, and you can produce reddish or pinkish skies. Tip number 4 is finding your inspiration. Always learn from people who are better than you. They are everywhere. There are a lot of photographers and Instagram pages na marami akong natutunan. Like Brandon Wolfel, Alex Miller, Master Shots, and Portraits Amazing. Well, there are several products na ginagamit ko if nag-edit ako sa phone. For filters, I use VSCO. For basic lighting and color adjustments, I use Lightroom Mobile. For more filters, I use Afterlight. And for compositing, I use PixArt Mobile. Though, if you're using filters or presets, may mga photo na bagay yung ganitong filter, bagay yung ganitong presets, pero sa ibang photo hindi naman binabagayan. That's why, always remember that every photo is different. And you have to edit them, depends on what look you want to achieve and color palette you want to use. And para saan mo yung photo? Is that for a wedding, birthday ng baby, street photography, food photography, or landscape? That's why every photo is different. Kaya before you edit them, isipin mo muna kung para saan mo gamitin. And after that, you can decide kung paano mo siya i-edit. Sa akin, I edit my photos in Photoshop starting from 0. Pero sa ngayon, I won't include the process. But, abangan nyo lang sa next vlog.
You have just listened to an information about some tips in photography. What are the importance of photographs in our lives?
Ma'am, photographs play an important role to everyone's life because they connect us to our past, they remind us of people, places, feelings, and stories.
Very good! What is the reason why photography is important in our lives?
Ma'am, the reason why photography is important is that it freezes memories. It captures a moment in time that you'll be able to remember and cherish years from now. If you look at the images that people save, usually these are the photos of their family, friends, pets, places, and items they love.
Exactly right! What is photography?
Ma'am, photography is the science, art, and practice of creating durable images by recording lights or other electromagnetic radiation, either electronically by means of an image sensor or chemically by means of a light-sensitive material such as photographic film.
Good job! You are really learning a lot! Photography was viewed as a purely technical process that records visible images by light action on light-sensitive materials. The word photography comes from the two Greek words photos, meaning light, and graphos, meaning writing. It was started in the late 19th century, and from then, it was not immediately considered as art The photographer focuses the camera at a subject and clicks the shutter to make the photography as a process. Once the artist discerns an important moment, focuses his camera on it, and clicks the shutter, it becomes an art in photography. The photographer has captured the element of arts like form, color, light, shadow, texture, and composition to create a true work of art. Photography is considered as one of the most powerful means of communication. Photographic image is today's most important means of conveying information and ideas and expressing emotions. What are the various art elements you observe in a photograph?
Ma'am, photograph has color, line, and space.
That is correct! What else?
Photograph has shape, form, values, and texture, ma'am.
Great! What are the two typical characteristics of photography?
Ma'am, immediacy and detail photography.
Wonderful! Immediacy is seen in, true to life, and of the moment. While in detail, the camera takes in every detail of an image. Photographs are vital tools in communication fields such as journalism, advertising, education, and even in courts of law. Did you know some famous Filipinos who have made their mark in Philippine photography?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you name some of them?
Yes, ma'am. George Tapan, ma'am.
Will you tell something about George Tapan?
Ma'am, he is an award-winning travel photographer. He garnered 2 gold in Pacific Asian Tourism Association, gold in ASEAN Tourism Association, and first place in the 2011 National Geographic Photo Contest.
Very good! Can you name some of his famous works?
His famous works titled Into the Green Zone, ma'am. It was the first place winning image in the National Geographic Photo Contest in 2011.
You've got it right! We will continue our discussion after this infomercial. Ng iyong advisor at maibigay sa tamang guro.
Paghiwalayin ang mga sagutang papel sa bawat subject.
Huwag paghaluin ang iyong mga sagot sa dalawang subject sa iisang papel.
Kung masusunod mo ang mga ito, tiyak ang mga guro ay hindi malilito.
Sa pagpasa ng mga outputs, tiyaking maayos at organisado.
Ayusin ang output batay sa mga sumusunod na bawat aralin.
Una, sagot ng mga gawain. Pangalawa, refleksyon.
Pangatlo, lingguhang pagtataya.
At pang-apat, summative test kung mayroon.
Isang paalala mula sa pamunuan ng Tonya Aurora National High School at ng istasyong ito.
Kayo nakikinig sa Arts Grade 10. Kasama si Teacher Monica Jill and Jane.
I'm back! Now, let's continue. The next activity titled Guess Who?
Guess who?
Name the photographer that I am going to describe. Let's start. He is an advertising and commercial photographer. Who is he?
Ma'am, John K. Chua.
Very good. Kindly tell something about him.
Ad Photo is one of his first studios in the country that uses digital photography, ma'am. He founded the foundation called Photography with a Difference, or PWD, that gives free workshops to children with special needs. Famous photograph of John K. Chua is Gulf of Davao Snake Island.
That kind of work makes me happy because you search it correctly. How about Manny Librodo? Are you familiar with him?
Yes, ma'am.
Will you please tell something about him?
Ma'am, Manny Librodo was a full-time teacher at an international school in Bangkok. His photograph is about glamour, fashion, and travel portraiture. His photograph was regularly tagged online in competitions. He graced numerous UNICEF calendars, commercial work, international magazines, and the covers of some of the world's leading photography publications in Asian Geographic and the Digital Photographer magazine. Manny Librodo photograph is Tristeria Liburnae Dark Beauty.
You're really working hard for this. Continue doing great. Before we continue our activity, let's have an infomercial.
Nangangamba baka magka-COVID?
Huwag mag-alala. Narito ang mga tips upang makaiwas sa COVID-19.
Una, social distancing. Umiwas muna sa matataong lugar. Huwag lumabas ng bahay kung hindi naman kinakailangan. Kung may distansya, safe ka.
Ikalawa, panatilihing malinis ang katawan.
Ugaliin ang paghugas ng kamay.
Sabon at alkohol are real.
Palakasin ang katawan.
At vitamins ay huwag kalilimutan.
At ikatlo, laging magsuot ng face mask bilang proteksyon laban sa virus. Kung protektado, siguradong sa virus ay negatibo.
Mga kapatid, tips ay tandaan upang COVID-19 ay maiwasan. Uy, Pedro! Nagpabakuna ka na ba?
Oo naman, Petra. Bakunado na yata to. Dapat ang bawat isa ay mahikayat ng magpabakuna. Bata, matanda, tara na!
Tama ka dyan, Pedro. Kung may bakuna, siguradong protektado tayo laban sa virus. Kaya magpapavaksin na rin ako.
tandaan, magpabakuna, siguradong protektado ka.
Isang paalala mula sa Doña Aurora National High School at ng himpilang ito. Kayo nakikinig sa Arts Grade 10. Kasama si Teacher Monica Jilin Jane.
I'm back! Now, turn your learning activity sheets on page 2. Do activity number 1 titled Wrap Up.
Wrap up.
Now that you have already learned the lesson about photography, I want you to answer the activity. Directions. Write what you have learned about the given words in your learning activity sheet. Example, number 1, photography. The purpose of photography is to communicate and document moments in time. When you take a photograph and share it with others, you're showing a moment that was frozen through a picture. This moment can tell someone many things, from the environment to what people are doing. Write your answer on a separate sheet of paper. Do the remaining items number 2, 3, and 4 in your most convenient time after the broadcast. I am sure you are already familiar with our lesson in photography. Now, let's do a performance activity titled Capturing Moments.
Capturing moments.
You will be needing your Android phone and your social networking websites such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and many more. Here are the procedures. 1. Choose a Filipino photographer you want to imitate in terms of photography subject, like travel, advertising and commercial, glamour and fashion. 2. Using your cell phone, take a photograph of your chosen subject. Take note of these reminders. Do not be afraid to take a lot of photos so that you will have choices later on. Make your photos interesting by using different angles and distances. Number 3. Choose 5 best pictures that best show your subject. Number 4. Upload your photographs to your chosen social networking site. And finally, number 5, do not forget to write a short caption for each photo so that the viewer could better understand the message of the picture, and tag your output to your art teacher. Analyze and follow the rubric in assessing your work on page 3. At this time, let us answer the reflection part on page 3. Here are the questions. 1. What is the importance of photography in the purpose of memories? 2. What is the importance of photography in the purpose of documentation? For our last activity, pages 3 to 4, answer the post test. Directions. Identify the term being described. Write the letter that corresponds to your answer on a separate sheet of paper. Do all activities at your most convenient time after the broadcast. Before we end our lesson today, let me first check if you really understood the lesson. What have you learned from our lesson today?
Ma'am, we learned about photography.
Very good! What are the elements of art in a photograph?
Ma'am, the photographer has captured the element of arts like form, color, light, shadow, texture, and composition to create a true work of art.
Excellent! Can you enumerate some noteworthy Philippine photographers?
Ma'am, some famous Filipinos who have made their mark in Philippine photography are George Tapan, John K. Chua, and Manny Librodo.
You are correct! You are amazing! Congratulations! We are done with our lesson in Arts 10. I hope you understood our discussion for today. Do not forget to message your respective MAPEH teachers through their mobile phones or messenger chats if you have questions. I would like to acknowledge the teachers behind this RBI lesson. Teacher Fausto S. Maneja Jr., our scriptwriter. Teacher Dante N. Hulaton, our content editor. Teacher Beverlyn L. Ramirez, our language editor. Teacher Arnel Villagasca, our technical specialist. And our overall quality assurance team, Ma'am Jacqueline L. Partible, Head Teacher 3 of Filipino Learning Area. Sir Ferdinand G. Del Rosario, Head Teacher 3 of ESP Learning Area. Ma'am Emily C. Valenzuela, Head Teacher 3 of AP Learning Area. Sir Leonidas C. Bernardo, Head Teacher 3 of MAPEH Learning Area. And Dr. Rodrigo V. Pasqua, Chief Education Supervisor and Officer in charge of the school. This is your radio teacher, Teacher Monica G. Limpin, saying, taking an image, freezing a moment, reveals how rich reality truly is. Thank you for listening. Have a good day. Goodbye.
Music, arts, physical education, and health. Mga aralin na dapat malaman, inyong tututukan dito sa Dance Radio. Ang istasyong magbibigay ng edukasyon kahit saan. Ito ang 106.3 Dance Radio. Totonia Aurora National High School, Santa Rita, Aurora, Isabela. Ang silid-aralan sa radyo. 106.3 DWTR-FM.
DWTR-FM.
Dance Radio. Sa MAPEH, learning is amazing.
Dance Radio, siniparalan sa radyo, atid namin makabago, paraan ng pagtuturo.
Wala nang makakapigil pa. Sulong Arangkada 106.3 Dance Radio sa Aurora, Isabela.
Edukasyo'y susulong, basta na magtulong-tulong, sulong edukalidad. Dance Radio, learning is amazing.
Ayan, kami po ay nagbabalik, Sir Francis. Medyo... Ayan. So, nandito na sila. Ayan. So, our lesson a while ago in our RBI is about media-based art and design in the Philippines, which is photography. Before we start, let me remind you an online safety tips for the new normal. Ayan. The COVID-19 pandemic has created a world we could never have imagined, from self-isolation to social distancing. Some of the habits we developed during lockdown feel like the new normal. We changed how we go to school by studying remotely and expanding our use of digital technology to communicate with our teachers and classmates. eSafety has put together some advice to make sure you look after your online safety and well-being to help navigate the uncharted territory we are in. Take some time to explore this advice and learn how to get support if things become difficult, okay? Take note of this. You need to stay connected with friends. Manage your mental health in and out of COVID lockdown. Know how to deal with cyberbullying. Don't fall for fake news. Balance your time online. And of course, the last one is be cautious about online relationship. Tandaan nyo yan.
Okay. So, tama yan, Sir Dante. Ang pinaka-importante sa lahat, our dear learners, ay maging ligtas tayo. Kaya habang nakikinig kayo ngayon sa inyong mga radyo at nanonood sa ating live stream, tiyakin lang na kayo ay nasa ligtas na lugar.
Yes, despite the fact that we are in alert level 1, still nandyan pa rin ang COVID, kaya mag-ingat tayo.
Okay, let us now have a game entitled Spot the Difference.
Ooh!
Yan. So,
Ayan
ito na
yan.
yung ating unang palaro, Sir Dante. So,
Yes.
kailangan nilang mag-comment ng kanilang answer. Paramihan, ano? Kasi spot the difference.
Sige, ako ang titingin, Sir Francis. Ibigay
Okay.
mo ng instruction.
Identify the differences of the following pictures. Comment your answer in chat box or you may text or call sa binigay naming number kanina. Ang pinakamadaming makapagbibigay ng sagot ang siyang mananalo ng 50 pesos load. So, ready na? Start now!
Yan, tingnan
Yan. So,
natin.
ano kaya ang differences ng mga pictures?
Paramihan,
Dante?
Sir Francis, ha?
Yes, paramihan. So, mag-text na ng maraming na-spot na differences dito
Ay,
sa
isa naman ang
dalawang
sinabi ni
photo.
Minerva. Dapat marami.
Okay.
Paramihan tayo.
So,
Paramihan.
actually, Sir Dante, meron niyang 5 na differences.
Ayan.
Si Jesslyn, ayan, may isa. Tattoo, iisa. So,
May sumagot na ng
eto si Akina.
4.
Akina, 10 obra, tattoo, color of the lipstick. So, 2.
Ito 4. Kay
Sino
Ariana
yan,
Pink
Sir
Mayo.
Dante?
Skirt, lipstick, hairband, tattoo.
Wow!
Wow, 4 na yun.
Very good. Ayan. So, ipakita natin ang
Ayan,
mga
very good.
differences.
Ariana Pink Mayo.
Okay, kung sino yung nanalo, Sir Dante? Si?
Ariana Faith Mayo ng 10 SPJ. Ang sinagot niya, Sir Francis, tama ba? Skirt.
Yan, check.
Lipstick.
Check.
Hairband.
Check.
and tattoo.
Okay, correct. So, nanalo ka ng 50 pesos na load. I-PM mo mamaya ang iyong subject teacher ng iyong cellphone number at loloadan ka namin ng 50 pesos.
Si Sir Francis ang maglo-load na.
Yes.
Okay, Sir Francis, very good. Ang galing ng mga bata.
Yes. So, yung activity na yan, actually kung natatandaan nila Sir Dante, yan yung kanilang ginawa noong last grading period.
Yes.
Yes. So, let us review the last quarter. Okay, so the previous quarter provided an overview of the phenomenal capabilities and possibilities of the electronic and digital media. Now, available in today's technology-driven world, so these have enabled amazingly innovative art forms to evolve from beyond traditional painting, sculpture, and architecture. As quickly as technology is able to develop new devices, gadgets, and techniques, modern artists and designers adapt them to enhance their creative expression. Katulad ng mga pictures na ito, Sir Dante. Kung maalala nila, ang ginawa nila na performance last quarter ay nag-edit sila ng kanilang mga pictures.
That's true, Sir Francis. Naalala ko yan. Yun ang activity na ginawa ng mga learners natin sa arts, ang tinatawag nating TBA o yung technology-based art. Napaka-techy na ngayon ng art, Sir Francis. Kung dati, pag sinabi nating arts, ang alam lang natin ay paint, drawing at painting ang nasa isip natin na gawa ng malikhaing kamay ng artist. Ngayon, may technology na tayo na kung saan napaka-innovative ng ginagawa ng mga artists sa kanilang work ng art. Mapa-painting, drawing, sketching, layout at marami pang iba ay gumagamit na sila o gumagamit ang mga artists ng makabagong teknolohiya sa larangan ng arts. Excited na ako kung ano pa, Sir Francis, ang meron sa tinatawag nating media-based art and design dito sa Pilipinas. Kaya simulan na natin.
Yes, so ile-level up na natin ang photography na ginawa ng mga grade 10 last grading period. Kung dati nag-edit sila ng mga pictures, ngayon naman ay bibigyan natin ng malalim na interpretasyon ang kanilang photography bilang isang masterpiece ng art. So nakafocus ang ating lesson ngayon sa media-based arts and design sa photography. So panoorin natin, Sir Dante, ang isang dokumentaryo ni Howie Severino na pinamagatang Larawan sa Ulap. So dito, mamumulat ang kaisipan kung gaano kahalaga ang pagkuha ng larawan. Let's watch this.
Sa Cordillera sa Hilagang Luzon, matatagpuan ang pinakamataas na paaralan sa bansa. Tutungo kami roon para sa isang natatanging misyon. Ang Mount Pulag sa Kabayan, Benguet ay paborito ng maraming potograpo. Dahil sa mga ipinapakitang gilas dito ng kalikasan. At ngayon may kasama akong isang grupo ng mga potograpo na una ring nabighani sa mga tanawin dito. Ngunit sa biyaheng ito, iba ang babalikan nila. Maliit lang ang Mount Pulag Primary School.
Manhahala! Manhahala! Amen! Manhahala!
Pero may isa siyang katangian. Wala nang paaralan sa Pilipinas na mas mataas pa.
may ulap ka ngang matatanaw na mas mababa pa rito. Daanan ito ng mga climber papuntang summit ng Mount Pulag. Pero para sa Juan Portrait, ang grupo ng mga potograpo, hanggang dito lang ang kanilang destinasyon. At sa halip na nakamamanghang tanawin, ang kukunan nila, sila.
Everybody, yan. O, tingin dito. Walang kamay, baba mo yung kamay mo. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. Yan. Perfect. Yan, okay. Ready, ha?
Ang mga bata sa komunidad ngayon lang kinukunan ng litrato para sa kauna-unahan nilang school ID.
Wow! Na-amaze naman ako sa documentary na ito, Sir Francis. Tunay nga na napakahalaga ng mga larawan sa mga katutubo ng Cordillera sa Mount Pulag sa Benguet. Dahil sa larawan nila, nagkaroon sila ng tinatawag natin na identity o pagkakakilanlan sa pamamagitan ng kanilang ID. Yan.
Okay, yes Sir Dante, ito na ngayon napakahalaga ng litrato o larawan, di ba? Hindi lang sa pamamagitan ng pagkakaroon ng identity o yung pagkakaroon ng ID na mayroong litrato. Okay, so sa ipapakita natin na susunod na larawan, ito ay mga larawan ng mga katutubo. Sa pamamagitan ng picture o litrato, na ihahayag natin ang mga kultura, kasaysayan, yung itsura ng mga katutubo sa pamamagitan ng litrato o picture. So napakahalaga Sir Dante ng litrato o picture, di ba?
Yes.
Hindi lang ito nagbibigay ng message, ito rin ay nagkikip ng memories,
Yan.
di ba?
Na pwede nating balik tanawin.
Yes. At isa sa mga picture na nandyan, Sir Dante, ang sikat na si
Wang Ud.
Wang Ud. Sino ba si Wang Ud, Sir Dante?
Ang huling mambabatok ng mga taga-Kalinga sa Cordillera Park.
And alam mo ba, Sir Dante, na sikat ngayon sa
Yes.
Facebook, si Wang Ud. Sumikat ang kanyang mga larawan. Okay? So next, Sir Dante.
Hindi lamang yan sa mga katutubo, Sir Francis, kung babalik tanawin natin ang ating kasaysayan, ang isa sa mga larawan na nagmarka o tumatak sa akin ay ang mga larawan nun EDSA Revolution na kung saan kailan lamang ay guninita natin ang tinatawag nating EDSA Revolution. Okay? Hindi lamang sa ating bansa kundi pati sa buong mundo, ito ay napakalaga ang tinatawag nating EDSA Revolution.
Yes, tama ka dyan, Sir Dante. Sa pamamagitan din ng larawan or litrato, nakikita natin ang mga magagandang lugar sa Pilipinas. Okay. Yan. So anong nabayan na puntahan mo dyan, Sir Dante? Meron na ba?
Meron na sa akin. Dyan sa may part ng Baguio, part ng yan sa Legazpi Albay.
Okay. Eto
May
naman, Sir
volcano.
Dante, gusto ko namang i-share din yung sa... Ayan.
I love that.
Okay, so gusto ko munang i-share ito, syempre. Nababanggit lang din naman ang larawan, Sir Dante. Isa ako sa mga addict. Lagi akong naghahanap ng mga Instagrammable na mga picture ko. Yan. So yan yung mga lugar na napuntahan ko, Sir Dante. And yan yung memories, syempre, na hindi ko makakalimutan. At pagdating sa litrato, Sir Dante, syempre, ang mga estudyante natin, namimiss na ito.
Yan. Of course, namimiss. Hopefully, magkakaroon na tayo ng face-to-face. Napakalaga niyan, yan picture na yan. Naalala ko pa nung may face-to-face, diyan talaga pumupwesto ang ating mga learners.
Yes, actually, Sir Dante, yung mga pumupunta dito, bumabalik sa Doña Aurora, diyan sila nagpapapicture sa image na yan.
Ayan.
Tatak yan, icon yan ng Doña Aurora.
Yes. O, trivia muna tayo, Sir Francis, na pag-usapan na rin natin ang larawan. Trivia muna tayo about photography. The birth of photography changed the course of history and how things can be cataloged and viewed. In today's world, we are not only familiar with the concept of photography and cameras, but have in a sense become dependent upon them. Whether it's about architectural photography, wedding photography, digital photography, or fashion photography, it has become so prolific that according to studies, sabi nila, people upload an average of 1.8 billion digital images every single day. That's 657 billion photos per year. Statistics have also shown that every 2 minutes, humans take more photos than ever existed with a total of 150 years ago. These technologies truly become a daily necessity in many regards, but fully understand the history and development behind the revolutionary camera, one needs to take a walk down the aisle of history. Ano nga ba ang sinasabi ng history, Sir Franz, about photography?
Yes, Sir Dante. Na-amaze naman ako doon. 1.8 billion digital images every single day.
Correct.
So, talagang mahilig tayong mag-take ng photos. So, ang history ng photography ay nagsimula, Sir Dante, noong 1814. Sinimulan ito ni Joseph Nis Achibs. Siya yung unang nag-invent ng first photographic image using the camera obscura. Then sinundan naman ito noong 1837 ni Luis Daguirre. Inintroduce ni Luis Daguirre ang daguerreotype photography. And then noong 1888, si George Eastman Patents ang nag-invento naman ng Kodak roll film camera. Ito yung mga sikat noon, Sir Dante, no, na mga pagpapadevelopan natin ng ating mga picture, ang Kodak. Then, noong 1927, General Electric invents the modern flash bulb. Ayan na yung modern flash. Kung mapapansin kasi natin, Sir Dante, nagsimula ang photography noon na nakakahon yung camera.
Laking box.
Yes, ang laking box. Tapos, nagkukulubong pa ng itim na kumot ang nagpipicture at sobrang liwanag ng flash. Kaya mapapansin natin yung mga unang photograph na noon, hindi sila masyadong nakangiti dahil nasisilaw sila sa flash ng camera. Then, noong 1851 naman, si Frederick Scott Archer nag-invento ng collodion process which reduced light exposure. Ito, ni-reduce na yung light ng ating camera. Then 1900, first mass-marketed camera which is called the Brownie goes on sale. O ito, inilabas na sa market ang kauna-unahang camera noong 1900. 1948, Edwin Land launches the Polaroid camera. 1963, Polaroid introduces the instant color film. So, una nang nagkaroon ng colored na photos noong 1963. 1978, ang Konica nag-introduce ng first and shoot autofocus camera.
Nabutan ko yan.
Yan. And then noong 1984, Canon demonstrate first digital electronic still camera. So, ayan na yung pinaka-modern ngayon, yung Canon. So, gumagamit na tayo ng mga DSLR na Canon. Next, Sir Dante.
Ayan. So, tingnan natin, ituloy natin ang history. In its early stages during the late 19th century, photography was viewed as purely technical process that of recording visible images by light action on light-sensitive material. In fact, tawag dito, it came from the Greek word photos, meaning light, and graphos, meaning writing. State this process literally. In comparison to the highly regarded arts of painting and sculpture, then photography was not immediately considered as art. But it was not long before the artistry of the 20th century, photographers elevated this light writing to an aesthetic form on right. Sir Francis, bakit nga ba, do we consider, kasi sabi diyan, hindi pa pala art before, do we consider a photographer as an artist?
Before, Sir Dante, hindi kino-considered ang photograph as an art or the photographer as an artist. But nowadays, they are now considered as an artist. Yes, of course, Sir Dante, they are artists. Why? Because the photographer is an artist through focusing the camera at the subject and clicking the shutter is called the photography, which is the process is yun yung tinatawag natin na art. Okay? Yung proseso na ginagawa ng ating mga photographer ay arts yun. So discerning a significant moment or a unique expression, framing it in a camera and viewfinder with an eye for composition. And then clicking the shutter is photography as an art. The photographer has captured the element of arts like form, color, light, shadow, texture, and composition to create a true work of art. So, photographer or photography now is an art.
Yay! So alam niyo na, great learners ha? Now, let us unlock the difficulties, Sir Francis. Kanina pa natin nababanggit, pinag-uusapan ang mga bagay-bagay regarding photography. Let us try to unlock now. The word photography or pagkuha ng litrato, may tinatawag tayong photographer or fotograpo. Sa other term naman, retratista. This word derived from litrato or photo. Litratista, other term yan. In a Tagalogese word, we name it as photographer or photographer. In Cebuano word for photographer is maniniyot. Ilocano word is retratista. Yung acronym naman SLR, we mean single lens reflex that is made up of plastic uses film. Ang DSLR naman as an acronym is digital single lens reflex. Ayan.
Medyo natawa naman ako, Sir Dante, dun sa tawag ng mga Cebuano sa kanilang photographer.
Yan.
Iba kasi yung meaning yan dito sa atin bilang mga Ilocano. And also, Sir Dante, huwag natin kalimutan, ang photo rin ay minsan tinatawag natin na larawan.
Larawan.
Yan. Larawang kupas. Okay. So, through photos, we can communicate because photography is another means of communication.
Correct.
Photography is considered as one of the most powerful means of communication. Photographic image is today's most important means of conveying information and ideas expressing emotions. That's why kanina, Sir Dante, yung pinakita nating mga photos, ano? Especially yung photo ng EDSA Revolution.
Correct.
It is very meaningful. Okay? Photographs are vital tools in communication fields such as journalism, advertising, education, and even in court of law. Napaka-importante ng photograph o larawan sa court of law. Pwede natin itong gamiting evidence. Napakatibay yan na ebidensya sa court.
Ayan. So, there are two typical characteristics of photography, Sir Francis. It is immediacy, is seen in a true-to-life and of the moment. O at the moment, pinicturan tayo ni Sir Mark dyan. That is at the moment. The other one is yung tinatawag nating detail. The camera takes in every detail of an image. Okay, let us see differences of two photos. Ayan. Ayan. Let us try to identify that one, whether that one is immediacy or yung tinatawag nating detail photography. Number 1. Yan. Yan yung pangalawa.
Okay, ito na, Sir Dante, yung ating pangalawang pa-contest.
Ayan.
Okay, so dear students, manggagaling naman sa inyo ang ating idea about these photos. So is this an example of photography as a process of art, this photo? And how about this photo? Is this photography also as a process of art? Okay, comment down your answer or you may call us. Pwede kayong tumawag para makiparticipate sa ating live discussion today. O kaya naman mag-text sa ating chat box or mag-text sa number na ibinigay natin kanina, Sir Dante. Okay, so balikan lang natin, Sir Dante, ang two characteristic ng photography ay immediacy and detail. When we say immediacy, ito yung wala tayong mga detalyeng nakikita na art, but it is a work of art pa rin because it is made up of photography. But it is in a moment, nangyayari siya. Ang detail naman ay the camera takes every detail in an image. So makikita natin doon sa larawan yung detalye ng mga art. Okay.
Okay, meron na ba, Sir Francis?
Meron na bang sumagot sa ating tanong? Sandali lang, dahil pala hindi na i-open yung ko, Sir Dante. Okay, comment down your answer, my dear students. Hindi ko maano yung ko, Sir Dante, yung aking Facebook Live. Meron na ba dyan sa'yo?
Ayan. Saan ba ang immediacy? Yung lakwan ba? Yung unang larawan ba? O yung pangalawa?
Okay, nagpi-PM sila, Sir Dante. Ayan, basahin
Sabi ni
natin.
Juan, ni Johannes Bulan, I do not know kung ano section ni Johannes Bulan.
Sir Dante, may tumatawag.
May tumatawag? O sige,
Wait.
sagutin mo muna.
Okay, from tumatawag ang 0917-309-0953. Ayan, sagutin
Ano ang
natin.
sabi?
Dali lang, ila-loudspeaker natin. Hello? Ayan, hello, hello. Anong pangalan? Naririnig ba siya?
Oo.
Yes, hello. Anong pangalan mo, anak? Hindi ko marinig. From 10 Obra, Sir Dante.
Wow.
Estudyante ko to. Yan, 10 Obra. Yes, ito ay si... Sino ito? Okay,
Akina Pasasadaba.
Okay, so Akina, nagpakita kami kanina ng dalawang pictures. Sa tingin mo, alin dito sa litratong ito ang photography as a process of art? Yung una ba o yung ikalawang photo? Okay, yes, immediately sabi mo is in real life, ano? Pag sinabi natin detailed, ito ay, detailed nating nakikita yung mga work of art. So sa tingin mo, Akina, saan sa dalawang photo na ito ang makikita natin yung process ng art? Is it in the first photo or in the second photo?
The second photo po.
Yes, very good. Itong second photo. Sa tingin mo, Akina, bakit ito ang matatawag natin as a process of art na photo?
Kasi po, if you look closely, you can see the alluring tattoos of Apuang Org.
Okay, so nakita natin yung detailed ng mga tattoo ni Apu Wangud. How about dun sa second photo, Akina?
Sa second photo po, you can see the costume po, yung art ng costume.
Okay, nandun sa bawat detalye ng costume ng babae, yung work of art. Okay, congratulations, Miss Akina of 10 Obra. Nanalo ka ng 50,000 load.
Ayan, in
50 pesos
addition,
pala.
Sir Francis,
Thank you, Akina.
sabi ni Johannes Bulan kanina, yun una is immediacy at yung pangalawa ay detail. That is one naman through our chat box. Ayan.
Yan, so meron din palang sumagot sa ating chat box.
Marami, dahil sumasagot. At meron pang nag-text actually, Sir Francis, through MNS naman. Ang sabi niya, number 1 is detail, and number 1 is immediacy, and number 2 is detail.
So na-identify na nila, Sir Dante, ng ating mga student kung ano dito yung process of art ng photography. Okay, so next, let's proceed to the next, Sir Dante. The
Ayan.
aperture.
Aperture.
So ano ba itong tinatawag natin na aperture? It can be defined as the opening in a lens through which light passes to enter the camera. It is an easy concept to understand if you just think about how your eyes work. Ang tinatawag natin na aperture, ito yung ating mata. I-consider natin na ang aperture, halimbawa, Sir Dante, ay ang pusa. Ang yaw. Ang pusa, Sir Dante, kung papansin ninyo, sa gabi, malaki ang iris ng kanyang mga mata. Kaya maliwanag ang kanyang paningin. Sa umaga naman, Sir Dante, maliit ang iris or pupil ng mata ng pusa kasi nasisilaw siya sa sobrang liwanag.
Ako,
Ganon
malaki
ang
talaga ang mata
aperture,
ko.
Sir Dante, yung size ng pupil. Okay? In photography, the pupil of your lens is called aperture. You can shrink or enlarge the size of the aperture to allow more or less light to reach your camera sensor.
Parang science.
Yes. Ito
Parang
yung
science.
aperture ng ating camera, Sir Dante. Makikita natin yan sa lens niya. Di ba sabi natin kanina, ang aperture ay iris or lens ng ating mga mata. Yan ang aperture. So, paano ba natin gagamitin, Sir Dante, ang aperture? One trick to remember this relationship, a large aperture which results in a large amount of both foreground and background blur. So kapag gumamit tayo ng large aperture, Ang resulta nito, nagkakaroon ng large amount ng pagbe-blurred ng ating foreground and background. Ang small aperture naman, nagre-result ito ng small amount of background blur. So which is typically ideal for some types of photography such as landscape and architecture. Okay, ano ang kaibahan ng large sa small aperture, Sir Dante? So one important part of aperture that confuses beginning photographer more than anything else is to something you really need to pay attention to get correct. Small numbers represent large, whereas large numbers represent small aperture. Paano ba yun, Sir Dante? Parang nalito tayo. Okay, so that is not a typo, Sir Dante. For example, F over 2.8 is a larger than F over 4 and much larger than F11. So most of the people find this awkward since we are used to having larger numbers represent larger values. Nevertheless, this is a basic fact of photography. Okay, take a look at this chart, Sir Dante.
Ayan.
As you can see, an f-stop like F over 16 represent a much smaller aperture opening than something like F over 2.8. Parang sa math lang, Sir Dante, aperture is a fraction. Sa math, anong mas mataas? 1/2 ba o 1/4?
Mas mataas ang 1/2, syempre.
Yes,
mas
alam
maliit
natin.
ang 1/4.
Okay, pero kung titingnan mo ang number nito, Sir Dante, yung 1 over 2 ay maliit. Ang number.
Oo.
Ang 1 over 4,
malaki.
Malaki ang number. Pero, mas malaki ang 1/2.
Yes.
Okay. Ganyan din sa aperture. When you are dealing with the f-stop of 1 over 16, for example, you think of it like the fraction is 1 over 16. Hopefully, you already know that fraction like 1 over 16 is clearly much smaller than 1 over 4.
Yes.
For this exact reason, an aperture of 1/16 is smaller than f4. So, nandyan sa taas, Sir Dance, sa illustration, yung malaking aperture, which is maliit yung value ng number. Ang pinakamaliit naman na aperture ay yung f16, which is malaki ang value ng number.
Ayan.
Okay, so yan ang mga example ng aperture gagamitin natin para sa sobrang liwanag at saka sobrang dilim ng ating background.
Pakatandaan niyo yan, mga learners, ha? Kasi eventually, later on, sa last part ng kon, may i-announce kami. Okay?
Yes.
Pakaabangan niyo yan. Ayan, alam na natin kung paano gamitin ang aperture. Ganun pala yun, Sir Francis. Pag malaki ang number ng aperture, mas maliit ang aperture. Pag maliit ang number ng aperture, mas malaki ang aperture. Para hindi tayo malito, ganun yun sa fraction sa math na nabanggit mo kanina. Mas maliit ang 1/2 sa 1/4. Okay, sumuba na tayo. Ang pinakamalaki, sino nga ba yung mga pinakamalalaking mga photographer ng ating bansa, Sir Francis?
Okay, so there are 3 noteworthy Philippine photographers, Sir Dante. No? Una-una ay yan, sino ba ito? Si George Tapan. So, who is George Tapan? Yan. He is an award-winning travel photographer. When we say travel photographer, nagpupunta siya sa mga iba't ibang lugar.
Parang ikaw lang.
Yes, hindi lang sa Pilipinas, pati sa buong mundo. Siya ay nanalo ng 2 Pacific Asian Tourism Association PATA Gold Award in ASEAN Tourism Association Award and first place in the 2011 National Geographic Photo Contest. Wow! Bigatin si Sir George Tapan kasi award-winning siya ng National Geographic Photo Contest. Ito yung kanyang award-winning piece, Sir Dante.
Ganda.
Entitled Into the Green Zone. Another picture of example of George Tapan photos. Ayan, ang gaganda, Sir Dante, no?
Correct.
Another. Ayan. Next
Next
photographer.
one is John K. Chua. Yan. Si John K. Chua naman, it's more on advertising and commercial photographer. John is best known for his technical excellence and mastery of notoriously challenging photo shoot, to the delight of client who envision the seemingly impossible. With more than 40 years of experience under his belt, Jan has moved with ease from one genre of photography to another, earning local and international awards along the way. Tingnan nga natin yan mga output niya, Sir Francis. Ayan. Snake Island in Palawan. Gulf of Davao. And of course, the other one is actually yung Banawe Rice Terraces.
Yes, Sir Dante, kung mapapansin natin, aerial ang kanyang
aerial.
pagkuha. Kaya nga notoriously, sabi niya, kasi delikado ang kanyang pagkuha ng mga pictures niya. Nasa ituktok siya, nasa itaas.
Okay, that's correct.
Next is Manny Librodo. Manny Librodo was a full-time teacher at international school in Bangkok, pero Pilipino siya, Sir Dante. His photograph is about glamour, fashion, and travel portraiture. His photograph was regularly top online in competitions. He graced numerous UNICEF calendars, commercial work, international magazines, and the covers of some of the world's leading photography publication, which is the Asian Geographic and the Digital Photographer magazine. Let's take a look sa kanyang mga obra maestra. Yan.
Ganda.
Another.
Yan. Edited po
Okay,
yung
so
iba.
more on fashion siya.
Correct. Ay,
Okay, next, Sir Dante.
ayan. Sir Francis, wala akong alam sa pagkuha ng picture. Lagi akong napapagalitan minsan kapag nag-capture ako dahil hindi ako marunong. May mga dapat ba tayong tandaan when we are capturing pictures?
Yes, Sir Dante. Ang tawag dyan sa photography ay basic composition.
Yan.
So para may compose natin ang ating kukuning litrato, sundin lang natin ang mga basic composition in taking photos. Ito ay ang mga sumusunod, ang rule of thirds, leading lines, symmetry and patterns, depth of field, framing, viewpoint, which is the bird's eye view and the worm's eye view.
Ayan,
So
sige.
ano ba ang rule of third, Sir Dante?
Sige, pag pinag-usapan natin ang rule of third, the rule of third involves mentally dividing up your image using 2 horizontal lines and 2 vertical lines as shown on the screen. Pakita na natin, Sir Francis. You then position the important elements in your scene along those lines or the point where they meet. Ayan. Kung mapapansin niyo on the screen, yung bahay as the main focus, wala siya sa middle, but it is actually on the side. And that is the rule of third. Let's have another picture, Sir Francis. Ayan. That's an example of
Kung
rule of third
mapapansin
pa rin.
natin, Sir Dante, hindi nakagitna,
Correct.
hindi nakafocus ang ating subject.
Oh,
Yan ang rule of third.
Yan, another one. Yan. Okay, hindi pa rin rule of third yan. Yan, rule of third pa rin yan.
Okay, next, let's proceed to the next basic composition, which is leading lines. Okay, leading lines, when we look at the photo, our eye is naturally drawn along lines by thinking about how you place lines in your composition. So you can affect the way we view the image, pulling us into the picture towards the subject or on a journey through the scene. So there are many different types of lines, Sir Dante. Meron tayong straight, diagonal, curvy, zigzag, radial, etc. And each can be used to enhance the photo's composition. Katulad ng mga example na ito.
Yes.
Anong leading lines ito, Sir Dante? Zigzag?
Zigzag, pwede ring curve.
Pwede ring curve. Yan.
Yes.
Another?
The
Yan.
horizontal.
Yes, kita natin talaga yung lines. Ano? Yan ang leading lines in photography. Meron tayong mga linyang sinusunod
Yan.
sa pag-take natin ng photo.
That one is
Nakalinya.
diagonal.
Yes. Another.
Yan,
Yan.
pwedeng
Kitang-kita
diagonal,
natin
pwedeng
dito, Sir
straight.
Dante, sa photo na to yung lines. And this one. So,
Yan.
may tinutunguhan yung mata natin.
Correct.
Okay, next.
Next is symmetry and patterns. We are surrounded by symmetry and patterns, both natural and man-made. They can make for every eye-catching composition, particularly in situations they are not expected. Another great way to use them is to break the symmetry of pattern, in some way introducing tension and focal point. On your screen is an example of asymmetry and pattern. Yan. Balance siya, may balance.
Yes. Kung ano yung nasa right, nandun dun sa left.
Ayan.
Asymmetry.
That is another symmetry. Next. That one is a pattern. May pattern siya. Next one. This one is under symmetry pa rin siya.
Balance.
There is balance on that. Okay.
Next, let's proceed now to the next, which is the depth of field. Because photography is a two-dimensional medium, we have to choose our composition carefully to convey the sense of depth. And that was present in the actual scene. So you can create a depth in a photo by including objects in the foreground, the middle ground, and the background. Another useful composition technique is overlapping, where you deliberately partially obscure one object with another. Katulad ng example nito, Sir Dante.
Ayan.
Bakit siya tinawag na depth of field? Okay, so blurred ang kanyang background, nakapokus lang yung
shoes.
photo natin
Yung
doon
pair of
sa
shoes.
subject niya. Okay, edit ito rin. Then
Correct.
another. Ayan. So, ito naman ang blurred ay yung nasa harap. Kanina yung mga photo nasa likod ang blurred. Okay?
Yeah.
So, ginagamit din dito sa depth of field sa Sir Dante yung ating aperture.
Yes. Okay, next. This one, my favorite, yung framing na rule of framing. The world is full of objects which make perfect natural frames, such as trees, archways, and holes. By placing this around the edge of the composition, you help to isolate the main subject from the outside world. Okay? The result is more focused image which draws our eye. That is a good example of framing. Main topic is the San Francisco Bridge. Okay? Next, ayan. Another example of framing. Yan ang visible na visible for framing. Another one. Yan. Sige. Oh, those are framing. Next, Sir Francis.
Next is viewpoint. Our viewpoint has massive impact on the composition of our photo. And as a result, it can greatly affect the message that the shot conveys rather than just shooting from eye level. Minsan kasi nakakasawa lang, Sir Dante, kung mga picture ay puro eye level.
Correct.
So we consider photographing from high above, down, at the ground level. From the side, from the back, and from a long way away, from very close up, and so on. Katulad nito, itong tinatawag na bird's eye view. Bakit siya tinawag na bird's eye view? Nasa taas siya. The viewer is looking down to this subject. Yan ang mga bird's eye view. Okay, my dear learners, baka gayahin ninyo ito sa inyong performance. Mag-ingat kayo ha, baka pupunta kayo sa ituktok ng punong kahoy, baka mahulog kayo ha. Dala-dala ang inyong mga cellphone or camera. Okay, mag-ingat kayo. Ayan, another is worm's eye view. Eto, mas ligtas kayo dito. Huwag lang kayong pupunta sa masukal, baka makagat kayo ng ahas. The viewer is looking up at the subject. So, pataas naman siya. Nandito kayo sa ground at pataas ang pagkuha ng litrato. Ayan. So, puro pataas siya. Okay.
Yes.
That's Sir Dante, the different basic components in photography.
Ang dami kong natutunan, Sir Francis. So, let us try to summarize na. Summarize muna, Sir Francis, ang mga napag-aralan natin ngayong umaga para sa ganun ay mabigyan ng glance ang ating mga learners.
Yes, diniscuss natin ang history ng photography. Of course, didefine natin ang photography, photograph as an art, and photograph as a means of communication. So, nakilala din natin ang mga iba't ibang noteworthy Philippine photographer na sina George Tapan, John K. Chua, at Manny Librodo. At syempre, natutunan natin ang paggamit ng aperture, Sir Dante, sa camera. At ang basic composition in photography. So, ano ba, Sir Dante?
Ulitin natin. We have the rule of third, leading lines, symmetry, and patterns. Depth of field, framing, viewpoint, bird's eye view, and worm's eye view. So, ang dami na nila natutunan. Ano na ang susunod na gagawin ng ating mga learners, Sir Francis?
Ayan, syempre, meron tayong performance task. So, sa ating performance task, gagawin natin ang learning activity sheet. Nasa learning activity sheet ninyo ang ating performance task, which is titled Capturing Moments. So, ang materials natin ay Android phone, kasi ang mga Android phone, Sir Dante, ay may camera. At maraming mga features yan na pwedeng i-apply. Then, we need also our social networking website, which is ang sikat na sikat ang Facebook. Yan. So, choose a Filipino photographer. Sino ang gusto ninyo? Si Manny Libredo, si John Kua, or si George Tapan. Mamili tayo sa kanilang tatlo. Then, sila kasi ay mga travel, advertising, and commercial and glamour fashion photography. So, using your cellphone, take a photograph of your chosen subject. So, kung napili ninyo si George Tapan, siya ay travel photographer, pwede kayong pumunta sa iba't ibang lugar at mag-take ng photo. But, take note, may COVID pa rin, kahit level 1 tayo, safety protocols, mag-iingat tayo. Kailangan tayong kumuha, Sir Dante, di ba, ng ating certification ng ITF kung lalabas tayo. Kung lalabas tayo ng lugar natin, ng Isabela, di ba? Or kaya naman dapat lagi nating dala-dala ang ating mga vaccination card. Importante.
Siguro
yun.
mag-stick na lang muna sila in our localities kasi within our localities naman marami rin naman tayong pwedeng maging subject.
Okay, pwede rin naman ng advertising and commercial.
Correct.
Mag-take sila ng mga food o kaya ay ng mga products.
Oh,
Pwede
like
rin
for
ng
example,
glamour and fashion, Sir Dante.
Yun sa product, siguro kalamansi, pwede yung kalamansi.
Yes,
na,
i-promote natin yung ating product. Pwede
one
rin
product,
sa
one town
palayan, Sir Dante.
Yes.
Pwede naman travel photography yun, punta ka sa palayan.
Oh, yan Sir Francis. So, what if ang mga estudyante natin wala silang tawag dito camera? Ano ang gagawin nila?
Okay, so ito pala Sir Dante, i-upload ng ating mga student,
Okay.
mamimili sila ng best 5 photos. Mag-picture sila ng madami, then piliin nila yung best 5 photos at i-upload nila sa Facebook. Para sa mga walang kapasidad na makagawa nito ng pag-picture or pag-photography ng mga pictures, para sa inyo, ang gagawin ninyo ay kayo ay kukuha ng isang litrato. Okay? Na kung saan ang litrato or larawan na ito ay inyong i-describe. Yan. Then,
Gagawa
ipapasa
ng
ninyo yan.
narrative.
Yes. Gagawa kayo ng, anong tawag doon, Sir Dante, sa gagawin nila ng narrative?
Narrative or reaction paper.
Pwede din.
Yan.
Okay.
Para naman sa rubrics, basahin niyo ang rubrics sa ating Learning Activity Sheet nandoon niya eh. Ayan, nandyan sa screen pero a detail of it, try to see it in your Learning Activity Sheet. Sir Francis, ang dami na natutunan ng ating mga learners. Siguro bigyan na pa natin sila ng isang game para sa ganun malaman natin kung may natutunan nga talaga sila.
Last game.
Okay, let's play a game, Sir Francis.
Okay, let us now have our evaluation. Let us identify the following photographer. So, meron kayong 3 picture na i-identify. I-PM nyo, i-text nyo, or pwede kayong tumawag, sa
Tatlo,
ating... Yes, 3. Letter only. So, sagutan na. Ready na ba? Picture
lang.
number 1. Sino ang photographer na ito?
Number 2.
Number 2. Sino naman ang photographer na ito?
3 dapat ang sagot,
And number 3, sino yan? Okay, so
tingnan
i-chat
natin.
na sa ating comment box or mag-text sa aming cellphone number. So, 3. Sino ang number 1? Yan. Sino ang number 2? Yan. At sino naman ang number 3?
Okay, may sumagot na, Sir Francis.
Yan, ang bilis!
Lely Javier. Ang sagot niya is panay letter A na 3. Tama ba, Sir
Yes,
Francis?
very good. Puro letter A ang sagot. Ang una ay si Manny Libredo. Letter A. Ang ikalawa naman ay si George Tapan. Letter A pa rin. At ang ikatlo ay si John K. Chua. Puro letter A. Anong
Yes.
section, Sir Dante?
Lely Javier ng 10 Obra.
Okay, estudyante ko na naman. Very
Ayan.
good, Aleli. So, mag-PM kayo sa akin ng inyong mga number para maloadan ko kayo ng 50 pesos.
Yun yung sa estudyante ko kanina yun, ha? Okay. Sagutan din natin ang reflection sa page 4 na inyong last. Question number 1, what is the importance of photography in the purpose of memories? And question number 2, what is the importance of photography in the purpose of documentation? I think isa sa mga question dito ay po si Sir Jassel later on, paki-mention ninyo ang inyong mga teacher para sa ganun ay mabasa namin ang inyong reflection answer. Sir Francis?
Before we end this lesson, Sir Dante, let us inspired about this story.
Wow.
So, anong nakikita natin sa ating monitor, Sir Dante? Ano ba
Ayan,
yan?
ito'y may mga kapansanan, wala siyang kamay. Oh, we have also the former governor Padaka.
Yes.
It's all on the screen.
What these pictures represent, Sir Dante?
Actually, it really represents the courage of doing something na kahit may kapansanan ka, ay kaya mo palang gawin ang isang bagay. Like for example, at the middle of it na nakwan ako, yun nagpipaint siya, pero kung mapapansin mo, may kapansanan siya. And at the same time, itong nagigitara, I think, kaya niya maggitara pero bulag siya. Tapos yun naman isa is putol yun kamay. Pero tumatakbo pa rin siya. And of course, locally si former Governor Padaka, maalam naman natin na may nakasaklay lang yan, pero nagagawa niya pa rin ang kanyang mga gawain. Sir Francis?
Yes, so it is truly passionate about something, Sir Dante. Then you find a way to pursue it, even when there seem to be an insurmountable obstacles in your way. That is Indonesian professional photographer Ahmad Zulkarnain. It is a shining example of this fact that born without hands and legs, he has gained international attention to his work, all of which he does in his own. Kahit na siya ay may kapansanan, Sir Dante, isa siyang napakagaling at kilalang photographer sa buong mundo. Despite of mayroong mga disabilities, sila pa rin ay nag-i-strive. Kasi lahat tayo ay binigyan ng Panginoon ng talento na dapat nating hasain at dapat nating paglinangin upang makamit natin ang rurok ng tagumpay.
That's why our grade 10 learners try to find the talent within you and try to develop or enhance it. Yan. Malay nyo, maging isa kayo sa mga photographer na ito. And to mention some of our students, Sir Francis, sino yung estudyante mo before na wherein he is really a photographer now?
Yes, si Mr. Arnold Madayag. Shout out sa'yo, Mr. Arnold
hindi lang
Madayag.
yan. Of
Kasi
course,
Sir Dante, si Arnold ngayon talagang kilalang-kilala dito sa Aurora. Hindi lang, pati sa kabilang bayan. At hindi lang yan, Sir Dante. Ang mga favorite student ko ng SPA sa Media Arts.
Media Arts.
Yung grupo, Sir Dante, ni
Errol Oripoy, Solomon Asho.
Yes.
We have also yung taga Burgosi,
si Prince Chester.
Prince Chester. They are really good when it comes to photography. At tunay nga naman, nagagamit nila ang kanilang skill sa field ng photography para kumita ng pera na makakatulong sa kanilang pag-aaral.
Yes, Sir Dante. May kapansanan man o wala, buo man lahat ng ating parte ng ating mga katawan o hindi, lahat po tayo ay makakamit ang tagumpay sa buhay kung ang binigay na talento ng Diyos sa atin
ay gagamitin
natin
sa tama.
Yes, lilinangin natin at hahasain natin.
Ayan, Sir Francis. So, ang daming natutunan ng ating mga mag-aaral. So, before na mag-close siguro tayo, I would like to take this opportunity. Special thanks to Sir Rodrigo B. Pascua, our OIC, for giving us the opportunity to experience this kind of activity, and to the head teacher, Sir Leonidas C. Bernardo. Keep safe, everyone. At sa isa pa, Sir Francis, pala. Isang paalaala lamang sa pagka-capture natin ng teacher. Make it sure kapag nag-capture tayo ay tama ang ating ginagawa. Huwag lang tayong capture at post din ng post. Kasi may maaari tayong mga violation na magawa. Like for example, kinapture kita ng teacher, hindi ayaw mo naman palang i-post ito sa FB or what. You need to ask permission before capturing. Kaya kailangan rin natin yung mga konting background regarding yun. Don'ts and do rin ng ating tawag dito, pagka-capture pag-uploads na mga
meron kasi tayong Privacy Act, Sir
Dante. Privacy Act of the Philippines na dapat rin nating sundin.
Speaking of photography, Sir Dante, ang MAPEH Club. Nandito
Ayan
ang
na
advisor niya. Sir MJ, halika dito at invite natin ang ating mga ang ating mga learners
Ayan na siya.
sa ating susunod na episode ng program ng MAPEH Club.
Yes, Sir Francis, thank you so much. So, this March and April, we'll be having the photography contest wherein we will be giving a subject and then all the students are encouraged to participate. So, hintayin lang po natin yung mechanics na mai-publish sa ating page. So, abang-abang na lang kung ano yung konsepto namin ibibigay. Mag-picture lang kayo sa mga best angle. I-apply nyo po yung learning na natutunan natin today. That's all, Sir Dante, Sir Francis.
Sige, thank you very much, Sir MJ.
Okay, so thank you for joining us today. See you again next time on MAPEH Quest sa MAPEH Learning Area. Learning is more amazing! Goodbye!
Bye-bye!
Happy lunch!
Malaman inyong tututukan dito sa 106.3 Dance Radio, ang istasyong magbibigay ng edukasyon kahit saan man at ang silid-aralan sa radyo 106.3 DWDR-FM. Sa MAPEH, learning is amazing! Ito ang 106.3 Dance Radio. Dance Radio.
Prepare yourself.
Ang silid-aralan sa radyo, hatid namin ay makabagong paraan ng pagtuturo at kalaman. Mapaumaga, tanghali o hapon man yan, ang istasyong magbibigay impormasyon kahit saan man.
Alright, here we go.
106.3 Dance Radio. Doña Aurora National High School, Santa Rita, Aurora, Isabela.
This
106.3 DWDR FM.